business? I don't know how to publish do we need to put any sort of notice or mention that the board is meeting? Does it need to be advertised as a special meeting, or do we need to say that not a meeting? I don't remember when that applies.
So the way that most people are posting it is that this is going to be a meeting for governing board training, and so that a quorum will be present, and that the purposes for training and no business will be discussed or voted on during that. Okay. So you can post it on that. The one thing that we do have to do, though, is there has to be minutes, and the minutes simply need to be, you'll have the agenda of the training / retreat. And all you have to do on the minutes is post that this meeting was held, training was conducted, discussions occurred, no business, just so that there's a loop back to the announcement, and that this then, the reason that this is so picky is the auditors picked it up at another school and it resulted in a finding because they didn't have minutes at a work session. And so it's just to state that we had the meeting, no business was discussed, and these are the topics that we covered in the training.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. We were kind of wondering.
Got it?
And Anita or
Alive? All right, perfect. Thank you. Okay, I would like to call our January 8th, Los Puentes Charter Board Governing Committee or board meeting to order.
Molly, can I just interject? Excuse me. One of the things that they're asking, and if we can add this to the agenda, is that we actually do roll calls. Just so the public can know who's on the board, because all we see is boxes. We're not sure maybe who the board members are. And so so if we can add that to the agenda, we got some feedback from the PED. I think I sent you all an email.
Yeah, apparently I did not see that email. They were saying you guys were responding. I'm like, uh-oh. So yes, we actually just discussed that roll call, but it's not on the agenda. So we'll have to just do that moving forward.
Yeah, you can do it, but as part of your calling the meeting to order.
Okay. So, calling to order, Juan Flores, our Vice President. Present. Is here. Oh. Thank you. Bernice Lopez, our Treasurer. Here. Deborah Grego, Secretary. Here. Anita Nevarez, the Governing Board Member. Here. Cindy Pham. Here. Governing Board. Sue Schmay, Governing Board Member. Here. Deborah Dawson, Governing Board Member.
Here.
And myself, Molly Chavez, President. Thank you. Next on the agenda is approval of the minutes. I'm sorry, approval of the agenda. My apologies.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Deborah, did you? Yeah. Yeah, these are on here, right?
Oops. Aye.
There we go. There we go. All those opposed? All right, so moved. Next, our approval of the minutes. Just folks have an opportunity to review minutes.
I'll review, and I'll make the motion to approve the minutes as written. Second that.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Perfect. Our next are our action items and discussion items for Ms. Anna. Anna is joining us virtually today.
Hello, everyone. Anna or Leslie, I requested to share my screen just in case. Please let me. Okay, it's working now. Thank you. All right. Hello, everyone. So today we have, I hope you can see my reports. Please let me know if it's working for everyone. So today we have two budget adjustment requests for approval. So the first budget adjustment request is for CSI fund. So this is a transfer bar, no increase or decrease. So we just moving funds from one function to another. And the second bar is for Gear Up Fund for $75,770. So there was initial error in the budget in the beginning of the year, and we finally got approval for increase for the bar. Please let me know if you have any questions regarding the bars.
May we have a motion to approve the bars?
I motion to approve the BART.
I second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Debbie?
Sorry, aye.
That's okay. All those opposed? All right, so moved. Thank you.
Thank you. My next report is a check listing. Please let me know if you have any questions. So all reports were reviewed by the Finance Committee. So just to let you know if you have any questions.
I motion to approve check listing.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All those opposed? So moved. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you. And the next report is the expenditure analytical review. These are standard reports. So that shows actual expenditure by each fund, and also comparing expenditure with the budgeted balance, revenue, and monthly cash balance. Also, budgeted revenue compared with the current revenue. And this report gives information regarding expenditure by function and object. And the financial summary report. Please let me know if you have any questions.
And I have one question.
Sure.
On the first chart for the expenditure analytical review, the very first one, there are two different food service columns, and I was just wondering what's the difference between the two?
Yeah, so we do have actually two funds for the food service. We have 21,100 and 21,100. So this is actually, there are two different funds. One comes from New Mexico State, another one is like a federal fund. So this just like representation. So we will be, probably will add something different. So just, but these are two different funds. This is the 41,000. This is what budgeted so far, and estimated. This is how much we have spent.
Thank you,
So
Anna.
yeah, so there will be actual adjustments to this food service funds the next board meeting. So once we enter our actual cash carryover from the prior year.
Okay, great. I really appreciate you clarifying that for me. Thank you.
Sure, thank you. The next report's revenue report. So this is the actual revenue. The first column actual today is this what was received in December, and the actual year today, this is the total revenue for the year. And the next report, expenditure report for a year, for the current month, for December, and also actual year today. The next report is a bank reconciliation. and the bank statement. That's all I have. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Any questions? Okay, thank you so much, Anna. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Time. C. Administrator evaluation. You want to jump on that? Starting again now.
Yeah, but it's that time again. I'm just wondering when, you know, the board would want to let me know to have evidence, on that evaluation tool, whether you want to assemble the same or a different evaluation committee and, you know, things of that nature, so that we can get ahead of it.
Okay, so we, since Juan and myself were part of your last evaluation, we could, go ahead and consider that work.
Thank you.
For us, if anybody else wants to join the committee, last time we had 3 with Gloria, so that's how we need. Is there a limitation as far as the committee for evaluation?
I'm gonna go over the quorum, so
Okay.
3
So 3
is probably a good number.
so that we would need 1 more volunteer for.
I'll volunteer.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Sush.
And so last year it was decided that we should be a year behind on the student data. That way we're not guessing. So we do have student data at this point. When would the committee like the, you know, my draft where I go in evidence, across the domains to supply the data? I can definitely do it in the Google Drive.
Yeah, let's
You
do
all
that.
have.
What was the time frame last time? Because were we working with different timelines? Because I think we said sometime February or March. I don't wanna, because when do we need to just go over the timeline a little bit?
I want to say that last year we did run a little bit tight.
Yeah.
But I'm going to pull up the drive so we can look. Or actually, it should be in the calendar too.
So let's just say, go ahead and have them as soon as possible, as soon as you could put them out there, and then that way, I could also go in the Google Drive and kind of take a look, and then we could drive the timelines from that, and I'll, follow up during the next meeting or by email. Or we're gonna get that.
Yeah, I think one of the factors was making sure that we gave you enough time, right? As a
Mhm.
mission, so
Right.
I'm comfortable with, once we get that, we can start to plan our timeline of when we'll meet
Yeah.
independently.
Yeah.
And then we will review the different segments of the, review. And we can kind of compare to what we did last time. That way it's kind of an orientation as well.
To arrange the meetings so that we could kind of work on our schedules outside work to bring.
Would it be reasonable and appropriate for me to have my evidence and my draft before the next governing board meeting, which happens the 12th?
Yeah, I think that would give us a little more time than last time, because for some reason I remember we started working on it like in March.
That's what I thought, it was
And I
March
think
and
it was
April.
a little close, so maybe we have it next month and then kind of work.
Does that give you enough time?
Okay, let's plan on that, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Anything else from you with that?
I don't believe so.
Perfect, thank you. Next we have, again, for the new folks, once a year, we do try to have it's a brief, sort of a retreat. So it's 3 hours, it's outside of our meetings, And usually it's from 9 to 12, and it will be this year again, from 9 to 12. We do have it down for February 1st. We've locked in Kelly to also be sort of a presenter slash, running it.
Wrangler?
Yeah, there you go. That's a good term. I like it. So it'll be here. And, I mean, we do try to keep it pretty succinct. It starts at 9 and we're usually out right at noon or a little bit before. We try to stay on track and be really kind of goal-driven of what we have on our agenda. And then we wrap it up, leave a little time for feedback and such. So, with that, one thing I was thinking, Kelly, because we do have quite a new number of board members, maybe to do the overview again of what a governing board, our basic fundamental needs should be, and what we're
Yep.
here to do to provide guidance.
Yes. Can definitely do that. It's always a good refresher too. So we can do that. And then the other thing, Molly, I was thinking about just, one new members, but also some of the committees, is there a need, now that renewal is kind of, in your rearview mirror for the most part. You still have the negotiations to go, but maybe looking at some focus priorities like you did when you set up those committees, doing some discussion around that. If there's, because you set up the committee for the evaluation and the renewal kind of focus for the last year. Is there a need to look at some other activities / priorities that the board would need to focus on for the next year or two?
Yeah, I mean, I did think about that, and I think right now, ad hoc wise, I think we have board member recruitment. I mean, right now, I think we're sitting at a pretty good number with our 8.
Don't know if we would need to do one, but I would think maybe, or possibly with the name change and all of that, supporting the school with getting, the branding and all of that stuff done. I don't know if you guys need help with that, but
With us help done,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
That's a
that.
great suggestion. And so we would do that, Debbie, and as a team, you guys would come up with sort of the activities, and so we need to form a committee. We need to have somebody who's an advisor, however you guys decide to do it, as an advisor to the administration, whatever is going to help you guys get to, so the branding and marketing, what is that outcome that you would like to see by such and date? We will have a new school branding, and what is the role that we're going to play in that? Does that make sense? So yeah, I think that it's up to you, Molly, but I was kind of thinking that maybe, a refresh on sort of the roles and responsibilities, and then looking at focus priorities for the board moving forward.
Or anyone else have any ideas? Anything else you'd like to see us kind of throw out there as a board? Review, refresh, learn? Bueller?
We're thinking.
Yeah, we're thinking.
Already
Okay,
did my
okay.
thinking.
I tapped out. I get my idea. I get it.
One idea a month, that's it.
Okay, so any other help you can give us, Kelly?
Yeah.
More than
Well,
happy to take.
And one of the things also I'd like to review is the new kind of format of the training report, because I'm really focusing on the competencies and indicators. So I can do that right at the beginning. Just for the new members, I'm a governing board trainer. And so one of the requirements of a governing board is that there has to be a 5-hour training that has to happen. Typically it happens, you go to a conference or you go to a training and you get your 5 hours. What we do is we incorporate the training through the work of the board at the meetings, at the retreat. So there's credit given for the time. And so I would, and because we have developed some competencies that boards should know and be able to do, tying all that together in a report that then translates into the number of hours that would be credited for the board training. So I have a report that I can kind of go over with everybody and help with that understanding and what is that going to look like moving forward. So yeah, this is so for example, just I'm not sitting up here spewing. I know a lot, but I don't know everything. It's the work that you do that you should be getting credit for. So the discussion about the head administrator evaluation falls under the category of effective governance. And I took notes here that this board has put together a committee. There's not a lot, typically a board is not as forward thinking about that kind of thing. They tend to wait till the end of the year. So this is a best practice. And so you should get credit for that, right? That's a competency that you guys have fulfilled in effective governance. And so I take these notes and that's how you guys attain your credits for your training that I then send to the state. So that's kind of the format. And so when we do this retreat, there'll be a lot of competencies that will be covered, and those would also translate into training hours. So that's the format. And then Molly, I just want to make sure. So we have Debbie Dawson, we have Cindy Pham, and we have Anita Nevadas. Are you all new since the school year started?
Yes.
And have you guys received the information about the new board training? So new board members, unfortunately, have to do extra training that is required by the state. And it's a 10-hour Canvas online on-demand training. So it shouldn't be too difficult, but have you gotten, Cindy, have you gotten your training?
Who is it supposed to come from?
The public education department.
I'll have to double check. I haven't seen it yet, but it could be in my spam as well.
Yeah.
I'll double check today.
Okay. And what we can do is, I can just send that again, that information to Molly and Anna, and if you could forward it to them. So I'm just going to make a note to myself to send the new board training directions, how to access them, to Molly and to Anna, and they can forward that to you guys, and then it gives you how to access the training.
Okay.
Anita, I think Anita did, yeah.
So, Kelly, if the board member gets their training, does the system know that they already did their training? If we think Anita already did hers.
Okay, I don't have access to that. That's the PED, the Public Ed Department has the access. But what we can do is that same address that I'm going to send that you request the training, request to see if you fulfilled all of your requirements. It's just an email to the charter school division, and you just put in there, I'm Anita Nevadas from Los Puentes. Now Nancy Jo Archer and just requesting to see if I have completed all my introductory training hours. It's the same, it all goes to the same person.
Okay, I'll double check.
Kelly, is that new training an option for existing board members also?
I believe it's open to anybody. Because it's on Canvas, so it's on demand. I don't see why anybody wouldn't be able to access it. I would just make sure you distinguish that, you know, I'm a new board member interested in getting refresher training and would like to take that new board training.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else that you want to see covered on the first?
I mean, I think maybe, can we use it as a little bit of a brainstorming though to discuss like branding or new logo?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
That the good chunk of it will be that. The rest of it will be a quick review, and then the strategic planning and brainstorming is the most important part.
Perfect, thank you. All right. Here we go.
Okay, short month. We were on break, half of December. So our numbers are looking good. The 151, that you see on our student count does include one adult student who has, surpassed the age, of 21. So she doesn't count our membership. She's not being, reported for membership to PED. So that puts us at 150. And that is largely, thanks to our virtual student body. So we're at, like almost 50% of our students engage only online, just remotely. It's opened up the possibility for those 7th and 8th graders that you see there, because otherwise we can't really serve them on campus. We don't have enough to create sections for the 7th and 8th grade curriculum, but we can do it online. So we are super excited that we continue to grow. We just had an orientation for 10 more students at the start of this year, or at the start of the semester, so you'll see updated numbers the next time we meet. We do have, under Focus Priority A, just continuing with that momentum, we have a couple of site visits coming up. I think APS is seeing what they want to see from us, but we do have a site visit as part of their authorization process. That's going to happen as of right now on the 24th of this month. And then coming up really fast, we have our visit from PED, the School Improvement and Transformation monitoring for our CSI status and graduation rate. That's our mid-year check-in. We have our performance framework still under the existing charter contract before we, go to our new goals and priorities at 15% reading, and then just about 12% in math and science. And as we discussed last time, our interim numbers are looking really good to meet these goals. For Focus Priority B, I'm happy to report I received a scholarship. PNTP nominated me to go to a conference. It's the GSD Summit on Learning Acceleration. It is in San Diego. It does require expenses, but I think it's a great opportunity to connect with other schools from around the country and to learn a few things. So I'm excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was cool to be,
great.
remembered by PNTP. So that's great. And then we had our beginning of semester professional development on the 6th, and our teachers have decided they needed more tools for our just-in-time remediation. So we are piloting the program Freckle. We'll have, we've had to do a lot of plus deltaing. It's not been a smooth implementation so far, but they did get training on it, and we're going to try it out. Hopefully it'll work for our purposes of learning acceleration. we do have a retirement coming up this year, so we're gonna be searching for a new teacher
Who's
with,
hiring?
Bob Kendall. So it's
I was wondering.
an opportunity to hire somebody new, and I already have some feelers, actually coming to me. You hiring for next year? Nice. I might be.
Very good.
Yeah.
Before you go to C though,
Yes.
quick question. Do we have lockdown times? Do you need board attendance for the, visits? Like,
So the, SIT, the school improvements, that does not require any board membership. I'm unclear on the APS, site visit, and that one has been rescheduled already once, and I wouldn't hold my breath on the 24th, but right now it is scheduled for 9 o'clock. I can double check with the charter school team if you'd like, whether they want a board member or not. Feel like when we were in that, under conditions, they really wanted a board member here, and the last couple of visits have been like, well, if they can make it, so, but I'll double check.
Friday?
It's a Friday. At 9 a.m. I'll, double check with them, and I'll send it out by email to see if anybody's, willing to participate. Thank you, Mona, for that question. For folks for ADC, we did our modified semester last semester. We did the 12 weeks of core, 6 weeks of electives, and we're starting up on our, 12 weeks of core again. So it's, so far, I have to say it's been successful. It's working. It feels kind of weird, but, I think it's working for our students, it's working for our teachers. We'll have to see at the end of this year and maybe 2 years. But, again, towards the end of last term, the teachers really were excited to look at their own practice, and so we just picked up some momentum. They're very excited to say, well, now I know what 12 weeks looks like and feels like, and what do I really need to teach? And so they've been really amazing to work, to do that work. So I feel pretty strongly that we're in good shape for our students who are assessing at 11th grade this year, just based on that 12 weeks of instruction. They're really getting down to what matters. It's going to take us still a couple of years to figure it out, you know, down to a science, but we're doing pretty good work towards it. And then, as you recall, last year we got approved for the bilingual seal. So this year we had 3 students take the assessment and pass it, and so it's like 10% of our graduating class is going to be earning a bilingual seal. We're very excited about that. Yeah. First, our mission-specific goals, obviously our online attendance is helping us out. We're at 84.75% year-to-date. So we're looking a lot better than we did last year. And our graduating class is bigger again this year. We have 33, and we might have just enrolled 2 more potential grads, but we have to verify transcripts and other checks. But bless you, we're 91% of them are on track for an on-time graduation this year. So it's going to be a big ceremony again. Like we were discussing earlier, our online community is growing. Have our school. So it's a little bit wild because we're running this school, and then we kind of have to remember that we're running an online school. And to that end, that community part of schooling is, you know, uncharted territory for us in the online world. So we're coming up, we had the virtual hangouts, we have virtual meetings for seniors, and we're coming up with a PBIS kind of program to where students can meet their goals, earn their points, and then maybe we mail them a coupon, or we mail them a care package, or, you know, we're growing in the Los Lunas Belen area, interestingly enough. So we were talking about maybe we just take a food truck out there, and we invite the kids and the parents, and activity funds can cover a meal for them, and that's the kind of thing I think that nobody else is doing in Los Lunas Belen. No. So it also gets the word out as far as, you know, being an option for that community. So we are brainstorming right now, but we will finish the year with some incentives for our online students. It's kind of
And there's probably already, like, if you could find one, like food trucks and stuff like that are already out there, and then if you just got a hold of them, you could be like, hey, we're gonna you know, do this and let the
Invite
families know.
them.
Yeah, invite them and say, you know, we're gonna pay for $10 worth of meals for, you know, each person who comes.
Or send them a voucher or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That way they can turn that back into you, then we
Yeah.
know.
Are the online students, are they all synchronous, asynchronous, combination? They're completely asynchronous. Completely. And so they work on, pre-recorded, curriculum called Edgenuity. And is what most online, schooling is using. And so we've had a lot of students that are very familiar with the program that say, that works for me, and they're just choosing to come here instead. We do have a meet with an online support representative once a week. They have to do a check-in. Some of them actually come in here. They come in and do their check-ins here. We also offer the wellness support for them. So, you know, as soon as the online, or specialist notices a change in that student, then they put in a wellness referral, and then we make arrangements. We actually have students who choose to do a wellness check-in as well. So, you know, we're trying to mirror what we do for students in person and adapt it to the online environment the best we can. We also do understand that, you know, there's a reason these students are choosing the online environment. We look at the logins, and there's logins at 2 in the morning.
Right.
And that's when they do their work, but they're doing it, and they're being successful with it. So we're adapting, you know, to whenever they want to do it, as long as they're moving forward. That's a great option. Is that how you're tracking attendance for online students, is daily login? Yes, we do, well, we do engagement, and then there's trackers. If they start falling behind, usually it's because they're not putting in the amount of time that they have meters, of how much time. Even if they don't log in one day, maybe their daily engagement goal grows by 10 minutes or whatever the case may be. But, you know, if they don't log in for a whole week, then they fall really far behind. You know, you have to be on the computer for 18 hours, right? And so that's kind of how we're measuring that engagement. Thank you. Any other questions? That's it on my report for the month.
Sorry, I have a question on it. I'm really glad that your first semester went well with, the way you did the core classes and the elective. What was the feedback that you got from the students? How did they feel about it? How did they like it?
I think a number of them are actually relieved to not have to carry on the full course through the end, right? You see, it's kind of like the light at the end of the tunnel, and, mostly for those kids that are like all or nothing, that do very well, and then all of a sudden something happens and their grade drops, and they're like, I'm never gonna do it, so halfway through the semester they would change. For those students, I think we are seeing good results. Also, it's been, very useful in those who need credit recovery. So we just have to wrangle the ones that failed the core classes. I have a senior who failed his LA. Well, guess what you're doing over the next 6 weeks? Come here. And so, he's excited that he's gonna continue on to graduate.
So he got to do that class over during the elective time, so he doesn't lose that core credit.
Yes, that's awesome. Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And kind of jumping a little bit on that, Kelly, just a quick question. So, we are hoping we can just change name with doing business as for our new name.
Okay.
But Kelly, or not Kelly, Kelly said no. Lawyer is saying that no, you should make it a clean, basically a clean slate, start fresh.
With the new tax
with the
ID.
new tax, new everything.
And that's a lot of work around the tax ID, Kelly, so we wanted to get your input, because typically for W-9 and reporting from, from all the state entities, federal entities and stuff like that, that's how, that's our identification as a school. So when you have a name change, would it be, that we would add it to the current W-9 as, also known as, and then the name of the school with, obviously with tax reporting still, for a legal name would be the existing, school name.
Right, right. When,
Yes.
when's the go effect date for the new name? Is that July 1?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're gonna be crossing tax years.
Right.
So I'm not sure why the attorney said that, because I know that grants require those IDs, and
Right.
your Dun and Broad Street,
Everything.
is all tied to that tax ID, right?
Yes. So that's why the whole thing, why we want to use DBA, so we do not want to change EIN number. So we want to
Right.
keep but we want to update the name on the checks and through the bank.
Right.
But we want to keep EIN number and the same tax information for the state.
Yeah, and that's it seems like I'm not a lawyer, so I can't determine why they would change. It seems to me that that would be a really, because things link back, especially with grants and, and
Do we know of another school that have changed their name to maybe get
who changed their name was Mark Armijo. Maybe Anna, you can reach out and see what because I just can't imagine why you would want to redo everything. It's going to be hard enough to change the checks and the, all of the things to the actual name, but the federal and your state ID and your school, the school ID is not going to change either, right? The one that PED assigns you, Anna, that one's not going to change.
Yes, that's, if our EIN number will be the same, that's what, and we can ask KPS what will be their preference, how they want to call us. So, but for
Maybe we
the
don't
tax,
present it as what would be their preference, maybe we just say,
this
we're thinking of going down.
Here's
this
what we're
road.
doing.
yes, yeah,
Yeah, we need to do it this way because everything's attached to, to our tax ID, and I think double check with another school and then drive
Yeah.
that
See,
conversation.
see what they did. That was a great idea, because, that I'm trying to think, the Southwest secondary schools changed their name. Bridget Barrett, that they changed their name just last year.
to
From
North Point, yes, and I know that they changed actually with EIN number, so, and they had the troubles updating their name with IRS. So that's why we want to avoid it, keeping Los Puentes still EIN.
yeah, yeah.
I'm wondering if the PED division for charter schools would have some guidance on this.
That's a good suggestion. The charter schools division.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah, we can try to reach them out, yes, and check
yeah.
if they have any guidance.
I would exhaust every avenue to get the answer you want.
Yes, absolutely.
Oops, did I say that?
All the time, and waiting for that check to clear, and waiting for these people to give us the money. And you're changing mid-year
I
when
say
you're
that-
waiting for the check.
Yeah, I'm saying that in jest, but
Yeah.
it seems
we
to
got
me
that.
that there's a logical way to approach this that is not going to be so overburdensome. And my worry would be not qualifying for grants. That would put you behind the 8 ball, and then you have to go and get a new Dun and Broad Street number, and that's a big. Believe me, I did it, so it is a big pain, and but I'm thinking getting several kind of opinions about what it is, and then ultimately, and I don't know, is there anybody that's a tax expert here on the board?
Well, what I could say is, from my experience, I'm the one that fills out the W-9, and you could be called anything known as, you could call yourself anything you want, but as far as legal and tax reporting, that would be your tax ID, and you could always be, with your entity.
Yeah.
So that's, I know that from the ones that I complete for the hospital, we're known with so many names, but at the end of the day, we have one tax ID, and that's gonna be, you know, under UNM Hospital.
Right.
But we're known as many names, so I think we're on the right track. We just wanna make sure that, you know, legally, it doesn't mess us up.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, you know, APS and then talking to another school. Now, here's the difference between Albuquerque Aviation Academy and Los Puentes. Aviation Academy is a board of finance. So that is a different, you know, that's a different layer. You're an independent school under APS. So there may be different rules. Is Mark Armijo, APS?
They are APS chartered, yeah, and I know that when they changed their name, they had a different head administrator, Kelly, and there's a new person there. I don't know, Anna, if K-12 or Vertex services there, or if they have their own business manager that they would know.
Yeah, I think they have their own business manager.
But they would know
But I
if
can
they have,
research if any of our business managers knows the business manager.
well, the thing is, ask them their tax ID, if their tax ID has always been the same, then that's how you would know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what, administrator you would have, because your tax ID, if like your social security, it's not gonna change.
Yeah. And Monica is still involved with the school, Anna. She
Oh,
does,
she is,
she still does some work, so that they can ask her, you know, if the, but I think that's, you want somebody who's equal to you, that has the same circumstances, because the state may have a different requirement as a board of finance. You know, they have different, accountability. So, that would be my suggestion.
Okay, thank you.
Nothing else on the agenda, everyone. So I would move to adjourn our meeting.
I motion to adjourn our meeting. I told you, I wanted an idea a month.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, thank you, everyone. Then we will see you February first.
9 a.m.
Saturday, 9 a.m. here.
Here. Thank you.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you. Bye, Debbie.
Bye.
Bye, all. Bye,
Thank
Anna.
you.
Hope you feel better.